Hello friends, welcome to the Word Cloud Tarot Show. This month we have released a Kickstarter and you can pre-order our deck right now if you want to get hold of this, the Happy Toast Word Cloud Tarot deck. It's got all of the cards of the tarot and all of them have got a picture from Happy Toast on them. And not only that, they've also got words describing what that particular card means, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time consulting a book or learning them. We're going to demonstrate how these work now by answering a difficult question that's been on our minds a lot now that we've launched this Kickstarter, and that is, will there be a nuclear war before the Kickstarter ends? The Sun have been reporting that the US are building up on new weapons on the border of Russia. And is this a provocation? What's going on? We're going to ask the tarot to find out. And we're going to do a deep dive. That means a lot of cards, a longer show than usual. We'll have a card representing the best hope that we can get from the situation. A card representing the history of the situation. There's external influences and internal influences. There's waning influences and waxing influences. There's also the thing right now, this moment, and the obstacles that may be overcome, the final outcome. And that's what we call a thread spread. What does it all mean? So, in the best hope position here, we have the 11 of Cups. That's the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is clever and cogent and astute. They're articulate and their plan is nuanced and responsive and calls for calming. So we should hope for de-escalation. That's what we were hoping for. Instead, what do we get? We get the Eight of Wands. Swiftness has been the history of the situation. We have an accelerating acceleration, a dreadful rush towards an inevitable and manifestation of portents. They're going to immanentize the echelon, and this is, of course, mad. But mad is the strategy that the history has chosen to be a deterrent. That is what the world's been doing. So this leaves us with the external influences. The world has been making us feel disappointed. The Five of Cups. So, of course, that leads to anguish and bereavement and betrayal. The external world is in calamity. And we're all feeling, therefore, despondent and helpless. Our leaders are failing us and leaving us disappointed. And so inside, internally, satiety, the Ten of Cups, I guess, we have had enough. Feels like there's an emergency, doesn't it? The emotions they're running high, and there's hazards and instability everywhere. There's a misconfigured axis. They're using threats and they're using surveillance, not just against Russia, but against all of us. We should have this bliss and contentment and the insurance of a guarantee of harmony, but instead the newspapers are filling us with emergency and threats. So have you had enough? Well, a waning influence, getting less important. The Seven of Wands, Valor. I mean, if you decide on a strategy of deterrent, then you have to advertise it. So the story must be in the newspaper as surely as a cobra evolves a display hood. So you get this bravado, this valor, this foolhardy and valiant confrontation, and that has consequences. Advertising a deterrent is inherently escalatory. There's a risk. That fearlessness can lead to battle, but perhaps this is becoming less important, waning in influence. Instead, growing more important, the 13th trump card, death. Well, we all know that the death card doesn't always mean death. It can just mean ending and failure, and mortality is not the only outcome that has loss. The breaking of the old causes the new. The death card doesn't necessarily mean everyone's going to die. It just means something's going to end. It could be the tensions that end. It doesn't have to be life itself. So it's a cliffhanger. The death card is a cliffhanger there. Will it be life that ends, or will it be the tension? And so we come to this present moment. This is what it's all led up to. And this is upside down. It's the Queen of Wands, but I go to some effort to try and avoid the cards going upside down. I did look through them as usual to check, but this one must have escaped somehow. Now, there are those who say that if a card's upside down, it reverses the meaning, but I don't like the messy deck that's half upside down and half not, so I tend to just usually ignore that. But the Queen of Wands is amazing. She's confident and creative and erotic and powerful and free. She's my heroine. She's fresh and she's inquisitive and independent. So do you feel that way? Or the opposite? Do we take the meaning of the card being upside down seriously? It's still that cliffhanger, isn't it? Things could flip either way. The cliffhanger continues. So what makes the pivotal difference? What's the obstacle that's in the way? The obstacle in the way is the Ten of Pentacles. That's wealth. It's the capital again, it's the economy, it's the establishment and their inherited wealth where they look after their friends and they all flourish while they leave us at risk, and their policies and their pensions are the only important thing. So they just carry on with that valor, don't they? And so what will the final outcome be? The final outcome is the 8th trump card, which is known as strength. Strength is often about signalling, and of course the newspaper reports saying that there's nuclear bombs being lined up along the border with Russia. That is two military intelligences lumbering up against each other, flexing in each other's faces, trying to get each other to back down. And these risky cliffhangers have a downside, man. If you're showing strength, you might be more likely to end up in battle. If we want the de-escalatory plan, we need to show gentleness and empathy and trust. Ensure that it's our public strength which is expressed and not the bravado of mad, swift strategies. So in summary then, we need a de-escalatory plan, but we're getting instead this mad, swift plan where they show aggression and strength as a way of signalling. But that's got a downside that might cause everyone to die. So this is very disappointing, and we've had enough. It's making us feel topsy-turvy and weird, and we don't feel as good as we ought to feel. And that's because the capital is in the way, so we need to overcome the capital and show the kind of strength that we get from a society, not the kind of strength that we get from signalling and bravado. So that might be good news. It sounds like we might get through the Kickstarter before the nuclear war, which is good. We really want the Kickstarter to be a success. So if you go to wordcloudtarot.com now, you can go to the Kickstarter there and join the movement to express support and get lots of these cards created and sent out into everyone's homes. that's it for us today. We'll be back soon with another show. You can get notified of new shows from wordcloudtarot.com. We're also on TikTok and Rumble and YouTube and all those others as well. Just check it out at the website. We'll see you next time.